All right. Happy Monday. A little spin this morning. What do you think of that? How about that? Happy Monday, everybody. I got a question. Does that make me crazy? Oh my gosh, daylight savings. Does it make you crazy? I gotta ask. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. On a Monday after daylight savings, man, daylight savings is making me crazy. Let me tell you something. I'm all thrown off. How about you guys? The title of this video, Daylight Savings, put me in debt. I didn't save anything. Let me tell you that. Between that and the new baby, I lost a lot of stuff. Man, this morning I woke up late. I got up. It's funny. Every morning I get up at 5 and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. I know some of you have been trying to wake up early. I've seen your posts online. And so I laid back down at 5 and I haven't been really setting my alarm, but I turned it on so this way I'm like, all right, set it for 5:30 so this way I can get up because I had to meet my trainer, Willie McCoy. Willie McCoy is my personal trainer, does a great job. He's getting me in great shape. And I hit snooze, and man, with this daylight savings and it being dark out, my son comes in my room at 7:30 and wakes me up and says, Daddy, it's 7:30, and that's usually when we leave for school. You got to get up. So, man, I missed Willie. Sorry, Willie, man. I missed my trainer at the clubhouse. I missed getting my kids out to school in time. We got to school at like 7:55. And, man, I'm all thrown off, as I'm sure you guys are. But check it out, man. I got my new shades on. I got these from Dr. Oliveris. She hooked me up, man. How do I look? I look good. But, man, daylight savings definitely has got me in debt this morning, as I'm sure you guys are. And anytime we go through change like this, right? Anytime we go through change or we go through some sort of an adjustment, it really throws us off. And you know, it's funny. I know in Florida they just passed that new law on daylight savings, and they changed, whether or not we're going to do it or not. And everybody has a different reaction to that, man. I remember one year when we had a project going on in Israel. Israel does their daylight savings a few weeks ahead of us. So I experienced spring forward and fall back 2 times each. So 4 times I had to deal with time change, that and jet lag. And let me tell you, whether you're in Israel, whether you're in the U.S., it was equally as painful. And we know that this sort of change, why do we not like this? Why does this sort of change throw us off? It's because it's different than the normal, right? So if you're a morning person and you wake up early, man, the sunlight's not there. You don't have the things that you're used to. It's a little bit darker, so maybe it's harder for you to get out of bed. So you're thrown off in that direction. If you're like me and you have kids, man, I know it's great that it's going to stay out light till 8 o'clock. But if you got kids, man, you love when that sun sets at 5:30, and you could get the kids in when it's nice and dark outside. It's tough when your kids to bed at 8 o'clock when it's shiny and light out. Philip, good morning. Also, thank you everybody for tuning in. Ashley, Ronitza, you guys out there on Instagram as well. But the idea is that this change affects us all, right? And change is inevitable in our lives. Daylight savings is something that affects everybody, right? It's affecting us nationwide, in some situations worldwide. But the individual impact that it has on you is unique, right? So for me, it was not being able to get up this morning. I got up a little bit later. I missed my workout session. I missed the things that were important to me. So why this global change affects everyone, there's impacts that are specific to me. And I feel passionate about that, right? So how does it affect me? How does it affect what I do? How does it affect where I'm at? So I think it's important to remember that when these things happen, there are changes, whether it's a large event, right? Like daylight savings, or even in Florida when we had the hurricane, it affected a lot of people, but it had individual effects. So we feel those personally, and I think we relate to those a lot. And then I think there's that idea of that some people like it and some people don't, but we all have to adapt to it and we all have to learn how to live together in it. But I think it's important for you to say, and it's a good kind of check of, are we changing? And even while it's uncomfortable and even while it's difficult, what happens? Today, Monday and Sunday are probably the worst of it, right? Some people maybe miss church or going to your religious services you go to on the weekends. I did. Some of you maybe miss, you're a little bit later to work this morning, a little bit getting going. Yes, Ronita, I see it sucks getting ready in the dark. It's just all these things that you're not used to, but in a few weeks we adapt and we're able to go through it. So I think it's important to remember that we look at events like this, like daylight savings and the things that happen, and realize that we can change and we can adapt when it's forced upon us, right? When we have no other choice, when there's nothing we could do about it, we adapt and change. So we could do one of 2 things. We can adapt and change, or we could spend the next 6 months complaining about it, right? I saw someone had on the thing, I think it was all the different things that daylight savings affects, and it says changing the time on your car radio. It says just forget about it, wait 6 months till it goes back, right? So we could either, get upset, deal with it, or we can adapt. And that's what change is. When change is forced upon us, we're forced to change. But sometimes when we want to do great things, we have to force that daylight savings type uncomfort onto us, right? We have to change our schedule, or if we want to lose weight, maybe we have to diet. If we want to, be successful in our business, maybe we have to take a change and make a decision that's a little bit uncomfortable. But when we do it, it's going to be difficult. The first day is probably going to be the hardest. You're going to make mistakes. Things are going to happen. Things are going to go wrong, but you're going to adapt, right? So like me, what am I going to do? So tomorrow, so I make sure I don't miss my trainer, I'm going to set 2 alarms, right? So that this way one goes off on my phone. I'm going to set the alarm on my Alexa. I'm going to tell my wife, since she's been up with the baby, make sure you get me out of bed. I don't care if it's 5 o'clock or 4:15. Kick me out of bed so this way I don't let Willie down and miss that appointment. So I think the idea is that we have to realize that we're capable of that change, whether it's forced upon us, like daylight savings or a hurricane or a natural disaster, or these different things we may deal with, and we adapt even though we're uncomfortable. But sometimes, how can we create that same sense of urgency in our life when we need to make a change that's not forced upon us? And that's where I think the biggest way to do that is surround us with people and things that are going to allow us to grow and do that, challenge us. Why do I have Willie in the morning? Why do I work out with Willie? Because he's a good friend. He's an expert. I know he's great at fitness, and he keeps me accountable. By me not being there this morning, I let him down. I wasted his time. I wasted my time, and that's not fair to him, right? So we need to put ourselves in situations too where we surround ourselves with people that maybe can help us out in those situations. If you want to wake up early, maybe get a wake up early buddy that's going to call you at 5 a.m. every morning, and you guys alternate days that you're going to call each other so you don't let each other down. If you want to grow your business, you want to do things, you got to surround yourself with people that are dependent on that you can't let down, that maybe you need that. And that's what works for me, right, is having people that I can't let down. For some people, it may be organizing yourself, right? Scheduling your day out more. If you find you want to have better time management and do things like that, you can't just say, I want to have better time management. You need to get a planner, write things down, make them happen. So I think, daylight savings is a good point. And I was thinking of calling this video, Daylight Savings Change Did You? Have you spring forward? Have you grown this year? But I think the idea is, what type of debt does this change put you in, and how are you going to be able to grow? And yes, it's going to be hard these first couple of days. Yes, it's going to be weird that it's dark out when you're getting ready. And yes, it's going to be weird that it's really light out when you're trying to put your kids to bed if you're in my boat. But we're all going to adapt and change, and we're going to do things that allow us to be successful in those areas. So if we could do it with daylight savings, you could do it with anything. And that's what I encourage you guys to do this week. Don't look at the negative of daylight savings, but look at how you guys can change and how you can grow in something that you've been working towards this year. And let me know in the comments what that is, guys. Share that with me. Share what that change might be. Share with me some of your daylight savings routines that you do to kind of get well adapted, and maybe some of those goals, those daylight saving levels goals that we could put in. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. Hope you make it a great week. If you like the video, make sure you like it. Share it out if you can. Make sure you follow me and click those 3 little buttons up there so you guys get notified when I go live and kick your day off and make it great. So, and I got a question, man. Am I crazy? Maybe I am. Those of you just tuning in for the dancing, here's the dancing. I know it's some of your favorite parts. I know I got to get a dab in there. Am I good at dabbing? I don't like dabbing, though, because you can't see this beautiful mug. Woo! I love you guys, man. Hope you guys have a great week. Make sure you like and share. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Crazy. This is a good song, too. Get that on Spotify. Who do you think you are? Make it a great one, everyone.